On my show, I'll be talking with librarians from around the country and discuss their views on the best way to manage libraries in today's world. Today I'll talk with Peter Gisolfi, chairman of the Spitzer School of Architecture, which is part of the City College of the City University of New York, and the CEO of Peter Gisolfi Associates. He will be talking about strategic design and green energy to increase efficiency of your library when we return.
Where can you preview and select quality documentary and educational videos from respected video distributors and producers all in one place? The National Media Market. For 35 years, the National Media Market has been the annual event where educational film producers and distributors connect with librarians and media professionals.
Why do I attend the National Media Market? Well, simply put, how can you not attend the National Media Market?
Come join us this fall. You will have the opportunity to preview, compare, and select the latest educational videos in multiple formats, meet with colleagues and industry experts, and learn about new trends, solutions, and ideas. Register now for the National Media Market, November 3rd through Thursday, November 7th in Charleston, South Carolina. Go to www.nmm.net for more information. That's www.nmm.net.
My next guest, Peter Gisolfi, is a professor of architecture and landscape architecture and chairman of the Spitzer School of Architecture at City College of the City University of New York. Peter designs new libraries and retrofits established buildings. He has developed guidelines that enable library buildings to take maximum advantage of their natural settings and climate, while causing minimal damage to the environment. Hello, Peter, and welcome today.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
My first question, in your work as a library designer, how much is new construction versus renovation of existing buildings?
I think it's about half and half, though it should be more towards renovation of existing buildings because we have so many.
Right.
But it's just by the accident of things. Though what we're doing, the projects we're doing right now, 2 are renovations and 1 is a new building.
To what extent would you say are your new libraries designed as community centers or cultural community centers?
Well, I think that the focus has been, certainly in the last 5 or 6 years, that libraries, they're always predicting the demise of libraries because of the digital revolution.
Right.
And it turns out that the library sort of becomes the place in the community for cultural happenings, things like art exhibits and lectures and musical performances. And it becomes less the place of simply storing the books and warehousing. It's a different thing. I think also it's a place where adults go kind of for continuing education. Those who weren't born with a computer in their crib,
right.
that have to figure out how to get along in the world, go to the library for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
For great example.
So libraries are cool now. They're not just.
They're very active. It's
Yeah.
amazing. They keep thriving and have more and more patrons, even after the various boards of trustees said we didn't need them. Like
Right.
the town board said, what do we need it for? Everybody has a computer. Well, it turns out they need them.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
What design strategies can lead to increased staff efficiency?
Well, things are changing. The one design strategy, I think, is transparency, that you can see from one place to the other. Even if you have a reference room, it might be nearby adult, the nonfiction collection as an example.
Right.
But you could see from one to the other. So a librarian who might be stationed in reference could see into another part, and you don't have to bother putting somebody else there. I think that's a strategy. The other thing I think, and I don't know if it comes up in one of your other questions, is that there's the the whole aspect of digitizing checkout and check-in. You can go just like you go to a supermarket with an RFID system and self-checkout and self-return.
Right.
So there can be less kind of drudge work for staff and more important creative work for staff.
Right. What attitudes are you finding in your library clients towards quiet spaces versus noisy spaces? Typical
well, it's
library.
interesting because when I was a child, one of the libraries that I redid was the public library in the village of Bronxville in New York, which we doubled and made 20,000 square feet instead of 10. But I grew up going to that library, and the whole idea of the library was shh.
Right, yeah.
There were really serious-looking women at the circulation
Scary.
desk, and I was, 8 or 10, and I thought they, were like 105 years old, and all they ever said was shh. And I think that in most libraries, in the community center function, the part where you come in, where there's a cafe, and there's the digital media, and there's the recent acquisitions, and there's advice on what you might want to read, everybody's just talking in normal tone of voice.
Right.
So that idea of shush everywhere has gone. Then there are parts of the library that are still quiet. I think reference rooms are quiet and reading spaces are quiet. And there's a whole group of small study areas that are in most libraries that are quiet as well.
I'm going to continue this idea when we come back from our commercial break. So after these messages, I will be back with Peter.
Where can you preview and select quality documentary and educational videos from respected video distributors and producers all in one place? The National Media Market. For 35 years, the National Media Market has been the annual event where educational film producers and distributors connect with librarians and media professionals.
Why do I attend the National Media Market? Well, simply put, how can you not attend the National Media Market?
Come join us this fall. You will have the opportunity to preview, compare, and select the latest educational videos in multiple formats, meet with colleagues and industry experts, and learn about new trends, solutions, and ideas. Register now for the National Media Market, November 3rd through Thursday, November 7th in Charleston, South Carolina. Go to www.nmm.net for more information. That's www.nmm.net.
Hello and welcome back. I'm here with Peter, and we left off with the question of what attitudes are you finding in your library clients towards quiet spaces versus noisy spaces. Do you have anything else to say about that topic?
I think noise is accepted now. That would be the simplest answer.
Right.
But there's still a desire to have some quiet place.
What are the most common strategies you use to increase the energy efficiency of existing library buildings?
Well, there are many, but the first test is what is the exterior wall like? Very often they're not insulated, very often the windows leak, very often they're single glazed. So the first thing is to try to turn the building into a thermos bottle. If you build a thermos bottle, it costs almost nothing to heat or cool.
Right.
It's not always so easy because the outside might be brick and the inside might be plaster and nobody wants to mess it up. The second is the whole area of lighting, which is like this, very energy and inefficient, and there's many other lighting options. I think the third is the whole mechanical system. Is it outdated? Is it very energy consuming? And what do you use to control it? Usually a control system that doesn't work anymore.
Right.
So if you say, replace the system and put in adequate controls, you're in a thermos bottle now, life is better. And then I think the next one that goes beyond is, can you introduce kind of green energy, solar collectors, geothermal systems, windmills, where you could produce on-site energy to augment what you are doing efficiently.
Right.
The strange part, though, is if you just go to the envelope and the mechanical systems, you get, you start using 40% of the energy that you were using previously. So it's quite dramatic.
Wow. So my next question is, are there any interests in outdoor space being incorporated into the usable space of the library's new design?
That's interesting because obviously in places like California, it's not one that we designed, but I'm thinking of the library at San Luis Obispo, which is built around a courtyard, and the courtyard is a reading courtyard. We're doing in Long Island a retrofit of the library and changing it to focus on a reading terrace that looks at nature preserve. And that will get used probably 6 months a year. So I think not only is it the library setting on the street or surrounded by green space, but is there usable space. And I think increasingly we're finding ways to do that, and people welcome that.
I had been looking at the idea of retrofitting from looking at the questions, and I started spotting retrofitting around my area, so it is a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
My last question for the day, are your library clients interested in sustainable green initiatives?
I would say that every library client we have right now thinks that's very important because it's one of the fixed costs of running the institution.
Thank you, Professor Gisolfi, for informing us on ways to increase the efficiency of our libraries. Tune in next time when I talk with Stacy Aldrich, Deputy Secretary of the Office of Commonwealth Libraries of Pennsylvania. For more information, you can write to us at laurelrossshow@yahoo.com or visit us at the website on your screen. From all of us at the Laurel Ross Show, I'm Laurel Ross. Thanks for watching.